Hi, I'm sharing something with you because I think you may have come across it as well. The general theme is that venting the bad can make space, can open up space for the good. What do I mean by this? I was recently with a family friend and we spent a lot of time together and it was really wonderful. And this is a friend that I'm close with, and we text, we email, we call. There's something different that happens in person. I wonder if this happens for you as well, especially as we're often going back to in person these days. The thing that happens in person is there's a lot more, both from my side and my friend's side, just a lot more venting of the things that have happened. And it's not mean spirited venting. It's just like letting off steam. Here are all the things that have happened. And I observed that and I was wondering about it and was wondering what is it that in person leads to much more of this kind of venting. And I observed that there are probably three aspects to it, and then kind of my own what I learned from this. The three aspects that I noticed are really when you're venting. So you meet someone you haven't seen for a long time. You might actually go through, here's what happened to the health of someone in my family. Here are projects that I really wanted to get and I didn't get. Here's a business relationship that I really wanted to grow, but it didn't. It dropped or it turned sour. So all of these kinds of things that you had hopes for, but just didn't happen, or were concerns in your life, and maybe you had gotten into them, but in person you get into them more. Why do we do this? I know my experience is not singular. I know that others of us do this too. Why do we do this? So I think there are three reasons that this happens. One is when we're online, whether it's really public social media or even email or text, we tend to just, hey, here's the high level. Here's the good stuff. Here's what's going on. Here's the high level. Now you're familiar with this. This isn't new for you. So there's some expectation of showing the good things first. Then the second observation that I have is what I learned from grading a student paper when I was an assistant instructor at UPenn. And the third observation is about trust. So first is we have these rosy interpretations. Second is I graded this paper and it really just made a difference for me. The student was describing a concept in positive psychology and described, hey, we have a base layer of not great, and then we have an excellent layer of great. And a lot of very important interventions are about increasing the great. So asking what are some good things that happened today, focusing on our strengths. They're all about moving us forward. But what the student pointed out in his paper was you've got to get rid of the bad. It just opens up so much more space. So if physically you can't move because you've hurt your leg and your knee is bleeding, you've got to take care of that before you move on to what do I aspire to be in my life. And he just wrote it in a really clear way that just crystallized it for me. Here, I'll do a real snap. Wow, it's not working at all. That crystallized it for me. So that's observation one and two. Why do we sometimes vent when we're seeing close enough friends in person? But one is social media like, including texting and emailing with one person. There's something about just sharing quickly the highlights and the good stuff. This observation by a student of mine previously, get rid of the bad. It opens up so much more space for the good. And then the third observation that I have about all this is it shows trust. If you're with someone and some of the first things you talk about are what's not working, what didn't work this year, what didn't work with my family, what didn't work with my business, it doesn't even show trust. It is trust. You know you have trust with this person to just go there. And summarizing all that after these three observations is just I'm learning something about myself. A really close friend from high school pointed out to me years and decades, I would say, decades ago, Senya, you have a fairly low tolerance for negativity. And I sort of do. If there's something negative, I wonder. I'm curious about what else is there. I don't push on it, but I do wonder what else is there that might be exciting or interesting. And so in these kinds of situations, I actually enjoy being able to be like the sieve for for the negativity or the colander, or sort of like let it vent, because I'm also venting. It's a mutual great vent session, and then it's a mutual great hope session, and all of that layered between itself. I hope this resonates with you. It's a little bit of a different angle for me in terms of thinking about things, but really here I'll show it, when we can vent the bad, then it opens up space for the good. I hope that gives you a kernel of something that you can explore this week in your life and work. All the best.